you know how we're doing sanctions on Russia over Ukraine. Now, the sanctions on Russia over Ukraine aren't hurting Russia. They're hurting Europe, and they're hurting the United States. They're backfiring. And to the point now where people in UK are starting a movement where they're not going to pay their energy bills anymore. Why? Because they're doubling their energy bills because of this sanctions that they're unilaterally putting on, that the governments are putting on Russia. Okay, I'll just give you, as energy prices rose this past winter, the UK's Office of Gas and Electricity Markets, that's the government office that oversees the private market, because they privatized their energy market in the UK. Didn't used to be privatized, it is now. How did that work out? Well, they're now raising its price cap. So they had a price cap on energy costs, and it used to be you couldn't spend more than 10% of your income on energy. And that was where they capped it at. Well, now they screwed you. They just raised the price cap on energy bills, or the maximum amount energy suppliers can charge each year, by 54%, up to $2,383. The price cap system was first introduced in 2019 in response to a rising concern about fuel poverty when households spend more than 10% of their income on energy bills. Now it's taken on new importance. When the current cap expires in October, so when the current law that they have is going to expire in October, Ofgem, that's this Office of Gas and Electricity, Ofgem is expected to raise it another 70%. Resulting in a $4,331 yearly bill for the typical home. By April, that could reach $5,352. More than half of the UK households could face fuel poverty. And a new campaign has proposed a novel solution to stop the problem. They're telling them don't pay.
Wow.
And in just a few weeks, Don't Pay UK, organized by volunteers and funded by donations, has collected nearly 108,000 pledges from people to cancel their automatic payments if Ofgem lifts the price cap and raises rates this fall. By that time, they hope to have 1 million people signed on and exert enough pressure on both companies and the government to deliver real relief to the struggling households and an end to the rate hikes. As countries across Europe face sky-high bills, non-payment could be a trend that catches on. But wait a minute, Jimmy. I mean, if gas prices are going up because of sanctions, what are the companies supposed to do? Are they supposed to operate at a loss? Well, how are they operating? Well, the country's biggest energy providers have enjoyed rising profits. In May, National Grid, the company controlling the country's transmission lines, reported a 107% rise in profits. They are doubling their money as they raise the rates on poor people in UK because of their stupid proxy war in Ukraine. 107% rise. What? I thought privatization was supposed to bring people choice and it would lower their bills. They're going to raise it 100%. That company raked in $4.1 billion in profits. That's called Centrica. The company that owns British Gas has increased its profits 5-fold over last year. And where's that money coming from? It's coming from the people who live in the UK who need to buy energy from them. 5-fold increase in profits. Those companies chase profits at the fact that those companies chase profits at all is a somewhat recent development. What? What do you mean? Well, because they used to be nationalized, the companies. And then Margaret Thatcher came in, privatized everything. She privatized the gas and the transmission of the gas to your home. Each corner of the country's energy system is now dominated by private actors that all skim a bit off the top. Today, the UK has the only fully privatized transmission system in Europe outside of Portugal. And why does Portugal have 100% privatized transmission system, delivery system of the gas, the energy? It's because they took an IMF bailout of $79 billion, which they couldn't pay back. So then the IMF made them privatize it and give that money away. That's how the IMF works. They don't actually invest in your country. They give you a loan they know you're not going to pay back, and then they make you privatize your public spaces. That's how the IMF works. They're a neoliberal organization that extracts wealth from countries. It doesn't invest in countries. Where the UK households are set to experience a 215% rise in average energy price over 2021. 215% rise. They're due to increase in Germany by only 23% and in France by only 4%. Why? Because they didn't privatize their fucking energy grid. That's why. And there's no one gouging them. They're not going to double the, or 215% their profits. So that's the irony there. Germany and France didn't privatize their, and look, they're only having an increase of that. Another ultimate irony is that France actually has a contract with the UK gas company. They get their gas from the same place. So that's the irony there. And here's the bigger irony. 2/3 of conservative voters in the UK favor temporary nationalization of the gas. Isn't that interesting? And they favor a price freeze. Conservative voters are for the government running the energy and freezing the prices. Isn't that amazing? Another poll conducted for We Own It found that just 12% of the public opposed renationalization. So 88% of the frickin' country's for it. Guess what? It's not happening. They're not going to nationalize the energy. Why? Because that government is bought and paid for or 100% corrupt, just like our government in the United States. Why aren't we getting health care like the rest of the world? Because our government's bought by the people who don't want you to have health care, just like their government is bought by the people who don't want you to have inexpensive gas. Their government is bought, just like our government is bought. And that's why that's happening.
Jimmy,
yes, go ahead.
In May, in the United Kingdom, the UK Chancellor Sunak said that they were going to offset the increase in energy prices for their population by providing government assistance and aid to cover half of the increased price. £1 billion. Right now, the UK has only sent a few £1 billion in aid and military support to Ukraine, which is a lot of money. But because of the level of energy price increases, they're expected to spend an additional £12 billion in covering half the cost of these energy increases. So they're spending, like 4 times the amount on energy for their own country than they are on actually supplying arms and aid to Ukraine to continue this crisis. It's insane what's going on.
And what is the benefit? What are some of the benefits of having a nationalized energy grid where it's not privatized and the government sends you just like the government sends you your water in Los Angeles, they would send you your gas and your electricity. What's the benefit of that? Well, one of the benefits is a publicly owned generation company could plan out and invest in a massive renewable build out. See, so they can, because they're not driven by profits, they can plan for the future and you could get a renewable energy system. Rather than letting those 3 goals of energy security, affordability, and sustainability be at the mercy of what is profitable. So right now, we only get anything in America and the UK if it makes a company profitable. And right now, if it doesn't make a company profitable, you're not going to get security, energy security, affordability, or sustainability unless a private company can make money giving it to you. Alternately, the government could issue a bond and buy up distribution and transmission firms directly. So that's a big benefit. I'm all for it. I don't like private companies doing our energy. I think for instance, firemen, your firemen they all work for the state. They all work for the government, and firemen do a great job. Why can't we do that in other areas? We can. And that's the dirty little secret. In fact, Medicare works way better than Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, or Aetna, or any of those other insurance companies. But people who are on Medicare that's the most popular health insurance program in the country every year. That's the government run. Did I say government run?
You did.
That's the government run one. Anything else you'd like to say on this, Jackson?
Yeah, one thing I'll add is between 2022 and the end of the year 2023, they're saying that energy prices as a whole in the UK could rise an additional 141%. And you put up that graphic that showed Germany's,
That showed
France's are.
that
You
showed.
put up that
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
you put up that graphic saying that Germany's prices increased at a lower level than the UK's. But the one thing I'll say about that is at least the UK is going to have energy to get them through winter. Germany's not going to have that. It's going to be a very, very treacherous cold winter for them.
What do you think they're going to do?
Well, it depends they have so many options. They could reopen Nord Stream 2 pipeline. They could drop the sanctions to bring gas flow back up to 100% in the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. They could get Ukraine to open up their pipelines to Germany. They could stop the shuttering of their nuclear plants because they're shuttering multiple nuclear plants with a lot of reactors. But the Greens don't want to work with nuclear. They don't want to work with Russia. And so they're just right now I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be really bad. They're telling businesses not to have any neon advertising lights. They're shutting down traffic lights at nighttime in rural areas in Germany. And they are shutting off hot water in public buildings.
Wow. I wonder how long their citizens are going to put up with that shit.
It's a good question.
Yeah. For what? Right? What's their benefit? There's no benefit for them to do this. Hey, we're coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Detroit, Los Angeles, Spokane, Tacoma, Denver. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all our tickets for all our live shows. See you there.